A 22-year-old woman is behind bars after stabbing her grandfather when they got into a fight over her hygiene habits. On Tuesday, the 29th of August, authorities responded to a residence on the 3900 block of Fontainebleau Road in Keithville, Louisiana on report of a disturbance. Carrington Harris told deputies that she and her grandparents started arguing after they asked her to have a shower. After they requested Carrington to wash herself, she began damaging property inside the house and then turned the power off from inside. Her grandparents attempted to restrain her, but she escaped and found a knife in the kitchen and stabbed her grandfather in the face. He was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment, but an update on his condition has not been provided. Carrington then ran from the home and into the woods and hid for several hours until deputies found her hiding behind a house nearby. She was arrested and charged with domestic abuse battery and domestic abuse battery with a dangerous weapon. She's held at the Caddo Correction Centre without bond. 46-year-old Tommy Reed Jr. is behind bars for fatally shooting 29-year-old Ladarius Armstrong. The incident occurred at around 1 a.m. on Wednesday the 30th of August at an Exxon gas station at 325 Highway 19 North in Meridian, Mississippi. Investigators said that Tommy was involved in a physical altercation with Ladarius. During the struggle, Tommy pulled out a handgun and shot Ladarius once in the back of the head before fleeing the scene. Medics transported Ladarius to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Tommy later turned himself in to police. Tommy is charged with manslaughter and felon in possession of a weapon. He's held at the Lauderdale County Jail on a $900,000 bond. It's unclear what events led to the altercation or if the men knew each other. The investigation into the matter continues. 20-year-old Hannah Wingert and her 21-year-old boyfriend Joshua Moody are behind bars after a toddler son was almost beaten to death. At 12:36 p.m. on Wednesday the 23rd of August, authorities responded to a residence in the 500 block of West 6th Street in Cheyenne, Wyoming after receiving a 911 call requesting a welfare check on a 2-year-old boy. The caller was identified as Hannah's mother, who told police that she picked up her daughter, Joshua, and a grandson from a motel earlier that morning, and she noticed that the toddler looked horrible with severe bruising covering his face and arms. She said that both the boy's eyes were swollen shut, and he'd been fitted with a bizarre homemade brace on his right leg. Hannah's mother called police as well as the Department of Family Services after dropping them off to report what she had seen. When first responders arrived at the premises, they located the child suffering life-threatening injuries. He was transported to Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, where he was initially assessed and then airlifted to Denver Children's Hospital, where it was confirmed that the child had multiple broken bones and internal injuries. Doctors said the boy had shattered both the tibia and fibula on his right leg and also suffered a fractured vertebrae in his back, bleeding in the brain, pancreatitis, liver lacerations, an acute kidney injury, a broken clavicle and 2 popped eardrums. During the investigation, detectives learnt that the child was battered by Hannah and Joshua. In an interview at the hospital, Hannah initially told police that her son had slipped in the shower. She knew he had a sprained ankle and a bump near his eye, but claimed not to know how the other injuries were caused. She said that the toddler has a history of self-harm and frequently throws himself into objects and off objects. On Thursday, the 24th of August, Joshua called police and claimed that Hannah admitted to everything. In a subsequent interview, he told investigators that he witnessed Hannah repeatedly punch her son in the head and face. The boy is reportedly autistic, and Joshua said that Hannah is often angry at the boy because he's often sick or injured. He said on the 23rd of August, Hannah was beating the boy while he lay in bed, and then grabbed him by both his legs and swung him like a baseball bat from left to right towards the window of the motel. As she finished the swing, Hannah only let go of one of the boy's legs, allowing him to swing around her body before stopping abruptly as he collided with her shoulder. Joshua said he heard the toddler's legs snap. Joshua said that Hannah then put the boy back into bed and covered his mouth while he screamed out in pain. He said he couldn't look at the boy while his mother beat him because it bothered him, but he said he admitted to watching everything happen, but being scared to do anything because of Hannah's mental stuff, then clarified by saying she is bipolar. Joshua said that Hannah held a knife to his throat and demanded he tell no one what he saw. Joshua acknowledged his history of domestic violence and assaults towards women, but he said he left that life behind. On Friday, the 25th of August, the pair were arrested and charged with attempted murder and abuse charges. If convicted, they face up to 25 years in prison. A mother who pulled the hair of her 2-year-old son while live streaming, and a woman present who did nothing to intervene were arrested in Marinette County, Wisconsin on Thursday, the 31st of August. 24-year-old Natasha Hunt is charged with abuse intentionally causing harm and disorderly conduct for the incident with her son. 26-year-old Amara Burns is charged with abuse intentionally causing harm, party to a crime, battery to an officer, disorderly conduct and resisting or obstructing an officer. When police first questioned the women, both denied posting a video or having any knowledge of any abuse. The boy showed no signs of injury, and the women told police he was not injured. Police then reviewed the video. In the video, Natasha approached Amara and the child. Natasha grabbed the toddler by the hair and began pulling the victim's head violently in multiple directions. Natasha was looking at the camera with an angry look on her face. The toddler was saying "ow" repeatedly and began to cry. Amara put up both of her hands. She did not appear to be assisting the pulling of the hair, besides holding the toddler on the lap while Natasha caused the pain. Amara did not make any attempt to stop Natasha. For a brief moment, Natasha stopped pulling the child's hair. Then she began pulling the toddler's hair again to the point that she pulled the child off Amara's lap and out of the picture. Crying could be heard and Natasha was seen moving around as she was still pulling the child's hair. Amara looked in the direction of where the incident was occurring and looked back at the camera smiling. She again made no attempt to stop Natasha from harming the child. While the women were arrested, Amara resisted kicking an officer in the face. The investigation into the matter continues.